I believe that Errol Spence Jr. should consider retirement. That's how bad that ass whipping was.
And if you want to come at 154, the outcome is going to be the same. And I'm telling you this, Spence is who he is. Ain't nothing gonna change about you, bro.
So if they fight at 154, you got Crawford.
I think Crawford has the edge and will win. Yeah, I think he has mental edge now.
I'm an advocate for the rematch. Not saying that I think he's gonna win it. I just think that it's gonna look different.
Errol Spence is still better than 95% of the fighters out there.
That's right.
On what weight will that be up, Jimmy?
We don't know yet.
Look, before we get into it, I don't need any salty Errol Spence fans in the comments. I am an Errol Spence fan. This is genuinely an open-ended question that you guys see in the title. I want to know what you guys think. I want to know what the general consensus is for a rematch. Like, what's the interest level? What's everyone's feeling about it? It's genuinely meant to be a discussion. So let me know what you guys think. As soon as you guys finish watching this, let's do it. The first fight between these two warriors was supposed to be one of the best fights in boxing in the last 20 years. The buildup was crazy. It had been going on for years. The trash talk, the back and forth between the both of these guys. Any and every boxing fan wanted to see this fight. Obviously, with good reason. Prior to this fight, these were two of the best pound for pound fighters in the world. And I understand that people may be looking at Errol Spence differently after that loss, but prior to it, let's not sit here and act like he wasn't one of the best pound for pound fighters in the world. Listen, I'm still young in this boxing game, so I'm sure plenty of you OGs have seen better performances in the past, but to me, in my limited time watching boxing, this is the best performance I've seen by a boxer, straight up. With the stakes being as high as they were, everyone, the interest was crazy. Everyone wanted to watch this fight. It felt like one of those old school boxing fights that just everyone's talking about it. You see posters everywhere on Twitter. You can't avoid it. With the stakes that high, for a guy to come through the way he did, the way Terence did, was remarkable. It was incredible. I remember watching it and I was like speechless. I had no words. When I was talking to my friends after, I was like, that's the most one-sided beatdown in a fight that big that you could possibly imagine. Terence made Errol look easy. Listen, I'm an Errol Spence fan, so it's pretty hard for me to watch, to be honest. In the moment, I was hurting, but after, I was really able to appreciate the greatness of that performance by Terence Crawford. After the fight, you pretty much immediately heard Errol say that he wants the rematch. He wants the rematch. He was at 154. You saw him on his story say, hey, if there was an excuse, you won't hear it from me. But he's kind of alluding to the fact that there was something going on. A lot of people mentioned that he just didn't look right when he was in the ring. I don't know. I hear a lot of theories. I'm not going to give him any energy. I will say, though, he didn't look like himself. Now the question becomes, is the second fight even worth it? Do people even want to see it? Are people even interested in it? And I think that those are valid questions to be asked right now. I see two sides to this, so let's get into it. On one hand, I can see why people say that this fight is not a good idea. Errol Spence has been through a lot of brain trauma, a lot of wars, and I don't know, it just seems like too short of a runway right after the first fight to fight again, because the rumors are that it'll be, early 2024. That just feels like too quick of a turnaround for someone like Errol Spence. That beating is bad, man. It's not good for the brain, especially, after the accidents and things like that. His brain really needs to heal as much as it possibly can before he gets back in the ring. I think another question to be asked is, does Errol Spence need a tune-up? A guy like him coming off a loss so one-sided seems like he's in prime position to benefit from a tune-up fight. Another thing I see on that side of the coin that the boxing community seems to really be talking about is that Terence Crawford beat Errol Spence primarily out of southpaw. Errol Spence has historically struggled more against southpaws. And I see a lot of people saying, well, he's not just gonna learn how to fight a southpaw in 6 months. And I definitely see where those people are coming from. My early impression is that the runway is just a little too short between the first fight and the potential second fight. On the other side of things, Errol Spence is a potential Hall of Fame boxer. If he wants to get back in there and he feels he just needs to make some minor adjustments or whatever the case may be, he feels he has a chance in the rematch, you gotta give him the shot. And I don't think that anyone can take that away from him. He's earned the ability to go in there and fight him again, regardless of how the first fight played out. Hopefully going up to 154 can indeed pay dividends. I'm not sure how much 7 pounds really helps, but he did look drained. They both did. These guys are not just natural 147 pounders. They look like natural 155ers. And I think in Errol's case, you could make an argument he looks like a natural 160.
I don't think he should be fighting at 147 at all. I don't even think he should be fighting at 154. I think he should be fighting at 160 or 168.
Like I said, I'm not sure exactly how much those 7 pounds are going to make a difference, but if Errol thinks it's important, if Errol thinks he can put a better performance at that weight, I mean, then we have to give him the opportunity. Like I said, he's earned it. So is Errol Spence versus Terence Crawford 2 pointless? Has it lost its value? Do people even care? I mean, ultimately, that's up to you guys. I'm not 100% sure. To me, it hasn't lost its value. I am definitely interested in seeing it again. I like seeing how all-time greats respond. I like giving the all-time greats opportunities to respond, because that's when you see them rise to their level of greatness. When a guy like that gets embarrassed, he's going to want to put on the best show he possibly can, because he knows in one way or another his legacy's on the line. And me being an Errol Spence fan, I'm obviously going to want to see him try and get that back. But on the other side of things, if you're genuinely concerned for Errol Spence's health, I definitely see why there are a lot of concerns going into this second fight. He's been in 2 pretty major car accidents. He suffered a lot of brain trauma. That first fight was a bad beating. And if I was in Errol Spence's corner, I wouldn't be pushing him to take that fight anytime soon. His brain needs some time to heal, and I think overall he could benefit from a tune-up or 2 along the way. Terence Crawford, on the other hand, seems hell-bent on being the first ever 3-weight undisputed champion. And he's talked about wanting to fight Canelo at 168 or Jermell Charlo at 154. To me, those are equally as exciting fights at this point in their careers. I mean, who the hell wouldn't want to see Terence Crawford go up to 168 pounds and try and fight Canelo? That would be cool. I think no matter how this all plays out, we should all be grateful that we're finally seeing the best fighters fight the best fighters in boxing. So ultimately, I don't think Spence versus Crawford 2 is completely pointless, but I will say it's obviously lost a lot of its value. Like I said at the beginning of this video though, I really would like to hear what you guys have to say about it. I'm super curious as to what the consensus is. Do you guys think that it's too soon for Spence? Do you guys think that he has a realistic chance? What's the consensus? Do you guys want to watch it? I think that's the most important thing. Does it interest you? That's what boxing's all about. That's what it should be all about. Do these fights make you want to watch? I mean, these are 2 Hall of Fame fighters, so anytime that's on the line, I'm obviously going to want to tune in. But I just want to know what you guys think. Let me know. I'll see you guys next time.